Hello students, you are welcome to class. Today we want to learn how to solve quadratic equation using factorization method. Solving quadratic equation using factorization method. If you are to use factorization method, you realize that if this is a quadratic equation, one of these variable is raised power 2. So this shows that this is a quadratic equation. X squared plus 9x plus 14 equals 0. So you want to solve this using factorization method. Now this first, this you take it to be product. This one also will be product. Why what is in the middle will be their sum. So factorization method is actually a guess method. So you'll be guessing some number and you see if it will tally with whatever you have in the middle. So the moment it tallies, that means it will be factored. But if it doesn't tally, you need to try other numbers. Now, for example, you are having x squared plus 9x plus 14 equals 0. So try to draw your cross like this. So two lines like that. So first of all, think of what you multiply together that will give you x squared. So I'm having what? X times x will give me x squared. What can I multiply together that will give me 14? I have 14 times 1 will give me 14. So I will now check if the figures I'm multiplying here, it will rhyme with what is in the middle. So I'm having x times 1 will give me what? 1x. X times 14 will give me what? Plus 14x. X plus 14x will give me 15x. So 15x, and what I'm having here is not 15x. This is 9x. So that means this my choice of numbers here is wrong. So I'll need to pick another choice of number. So again, let me pick another choice of number. What we multiply that give us x squared? I'm having x times x will give us x squared. What we multiply that give us 14? So let me try 7 times 2 will give me 14. So I will check if it will give us what is in this middle. So x times 2 will give me what? 2x. Then x times 7 will give me 7x plus 7x. 2x plus 7x is what? 9x. So you can see that my choice of number here is now right. So that means the factors will be what? X plus 7. So when you are writing the factors, you write it in this way: x plus 7, x plus 2. So I'm having x plus 7, x plus 2 equals 0. So from here, you now be picking each of these factors and be equating it to 0. X plus 7 is equal to 0. So you now bring this plus 7 to this side. When plus crosses equality sign, it now turns to minus 7. Then x plus 2 is equal to 0. Bring this plus 2 to this other side. Again, whenever plus crosses equality sign, turn to minus 2. So the value for your x will be what? Minus 7 or minus 2. Now let's look at another example. Y squared minus 3y plus 2 equals 0. So we want to solve using factorization. So again, you are going to draw your line. We say what you have in here will be product. Here also should be product. Then their middle should not be their sum. So what we multiply together that will give us y squared. That will give us y times y will give us y squared. What we multiply together that will give you 2. That is 2 times 1 will give us 2. So let's check if it will rhyme with what is in the middle. So y times 1 will give us y. Then y times 2 will give us plus 2y. So y plus 2y is what? Plus 3y. And you realize this one gives us plus 3y. But here, you are having minus 3y. So that means for us to be able to get it right, we need to do something to the sign. So let us make this one minus 2 times minus 1. Minus times minus here will give us plus. 2 times 1 will give us 2. So we now check if it will give us what is in the middle. So y times minus 1 will give us minus y. Y times minus 2 will give us minus 2y. Minus y minus 2y will give us minus 3y. So you can see that here we now have what is in the middle. So when you are writing the factors, it will be what? We will now write it as y minus 2 and y minus 1 is equal to 0. So that is what we have here. We now have y minus 2, y minus 1 equals 0. Here, you are going to solve each of them. Y minus 2 is equal to 0. Y minus 2 crosses the equality sign. It will now turn to what? Plus 2. Then y minus 1 is equal to 0. Y minus 1 crosses the equality sign, now turn to plus 1. So that means your y will be equal to y, it should be equal to 2 or plus 1. Let's look at another example. D square minus 3d minus 40 equals 0. So again, you are going to draw your lines that cross each other like this. So what we multiply together that will give us d square? That will give us d times d will give us d square. What we multiply together that will give us minus 40. So let's say we have minus 40 times 1 will give us minus 40. So let's check if it will give us what is in the middle. So d times 1 will give us what? D. D times minus 40 will give us minus 40d. Minus 40d. D minus 40d will give us minus 39d. And we have a minus 3d here. So that means we are wrong with our choice of number. So that means we need to guess another set of numbers that will still give you that will give us minus 40. So now let's think there again. Let's say d times d will give us what? D square. So let's think of, let's say minus 20. Minus 20 times 2 will give us minus 40. So let's check if when we solve it will give us what is the middle. D times 2 will give us what? 2d. D times minus 20 will give us minus 20d. 2d minus 20d is equal to minus 18d. Minus 18d, and this is still minus 3d. So that means our choice of numbers are wrong. So we need to keep on trying until we get the right number, combination of number that will give us minus 3d. So again, let us try 10 times minus 10 times 4. Minus 10 times plus 4 will give us minus 40. So let's check if it give us what is the middle. D times 4 will give us 4d. Then d times minus 10 will give us minus 10d. 4d minus 10d will give us what? Minus 6d. Minus 6d. So you can see that minus 6d is different from minus 3d. So it doesn't give us that. So that means we need to keep trying. Factorization method is a guess method. So you try another set of number that we feel can give us minus 40. Now I'm going to try minus 8 times 5. Minus 8 times 5 will give us minus 40. So let's check if it will give us what is in the middle. D times 5 will give us 5d. D times minus 8 will give us minus 8d. 5d minus 8d will give us minus 3d. Thank God. We've been able to get what is in the middle. So that means the factors will be what? D minus 8 and d plus 5 will be the factors of this. So you write the solution this way: d minus 8, d plus 5. So you're having d minus 8, then d plus 5 is equal to 0. So you now equate each of them to 0 to solve. So that means you are now going to have d minus 8 is equal to 0. When minus crosses equality sign, now turn to plus. D is equal to 8. D plus 5 is equal to 0. When plus 5 crosses equality sign, turn to minus 5. So that means the value for D should be what? Plus 8 or minus 5. So the value for D should be what? 8 or minus 5. So for the work practice, solve the following quadratic equations using factorization method. 1. S squared plus 9s plus 20 equals 0. 2. Y squared minus 11x plus 18 is equal to 0. 3. A squared minus 8a minus 3 is equal to 0. 4. X squared plus 13x minus 48 is equal to 0. Number 5. X squared minus x minus 42 equals 0. Please ensure you like, subscribe and comment on this video. Thank you.